àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè Ọ̀rúnmìlà ìwọ lọ́ba. Mo dúpẹ́ mo tọpẹ́ dá Ọ̀rúnmìlà ó ṣeun. Mo dúpẹ́ mo dúpẹ́ àwọ̀ bá di fàfọ́ba. Ọba ń sunkún kiri pé apá òun ò káyé. Ẹbọ làwo ní kọ́ba ó ṣe kápá lè káyé. Ọba gbọ́ rírú ẹbọ orúlẹ̀ bọ́ wá dà gidi gan. Apá ọba yóò kàyàfi tórúkà ò bá káwọ́. Ọlábàtà ló mọ́tò ayó kàyàfi tórúkà ò bá káwọ́. Ọlábàtà ló mọ́tò.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Soca TV. The discussion today, Ifa, homosexuality. Let me just make a disclaimer immediately that this conversation today is in no way going to be used as a medium or is intended to tell anyone how to live their life or suggest to anyone to look at this person this way, look at this person that way, or whatever the case may be. It is simply to get an understanding of Ifa's view on the practice of homosexuality in the Ifa tradition. Not Fa, not Dafa, not Lukumi, not anything that resembles or as an extension of our practices. The pure Ifa tradition of Ile-Ife, Nigeria, the motherland, right? So let me I know today people will have a lot of comments. So the number is 319-8100. That is 319-8100. Send your voice notes and questions for the guests and the Araba. I just had the guest here and he's now messaging me to tell me that his Wi-Fi just cut off as the show started. So just give us a little time because I know today is a very, 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 very sensitive topic. But in order for us to move forward and to gain harmony, we need to have the discussions. So I thank the brother for coming on the show to have this discussion with us. So in the meantime, of course, here Ajay Tumobi, always locked on. I see April Paul as well. JJ Simmons, every single show never fails, you know, one of the loyal viewers. Ogbato Ashori wo iwo fun Oshun fun leo elebo ibo. Guys, if you want to start from now, send the comments in now. Let we start to have a discussion while we have the guest organize his Wi-Fi, right? Let me just call my technician guy as well because I'm seeing a little glitch there in the corner of. Yeah, guys, sorry about that. Right. Okay. So I have him here. Please allow me to welcome Awo Ifatoki Ajasa Fashola. Awo,
Hello,
Abu
Araba.
Aboye, how
Obato.
are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
Well, welcome to Soka TV, and I am very happy that you would have after the conversation that you would have lent yourself your energy, your knowledge, and your wisdom for us to have this conversation, to clear stuff up on this topic of homosexuality. We understand that there is a yes, Miss Giles. We understand that there is a physical, or should I say, humanistic aspect of it or debate, and then there's also a spiritual aspect of it, right? Um,
Certainly.
we have Nicole Huggins, Lovedale. We have Temi Tayo, Shepherd. Greetings to you as well, new viewers. So, Awo, tell us some
Yes.
things about the the nature of homosexuality. You know, some misconceptions that you think the
Well,
viewers should know.
well, first of all, it's definitely you have to note that it's not necessarily connected with femininity.
Oh,
That's a huge misconception. Just because someone is more effeminate or just because they're not effeminate does not mean that they're gay. Me personally, I don't believe that it's some type of aberration. No one is going to choose to be born like this. That's for sure. So it's not something that people just do because they were. I don't see that people being influenced is a huge cause of being homosexual. To me, there's no research to support that. There's no common set of thinking that would support that. But it's clear that homophobia, people being afraid to just come out and be gay, would use something like that. Well, the reason I did it was because someone influenced me or because someone touched me. And that might be true that they had those experiences, but that alone is not going to cause someone to be gay.
okay.
It's a
So,
lifestyle, whether you're actually having intimate relations with a man or not, or even if it's in your thought. Doesn't matter how many women you tried to marry or how many kids you've had, unless you're bisexual, which is fine. You're gay if that's your attraction.
that's it. That's it. Right. So you started off by saying femininity. It's something we
Mhm.
hear a lot with IFA practitioners who also identify with homosexuality, that they tend to say the feminine energies of the universe influence their behavior and they have no choice. They love to call Mama Oshun's name, especially in particular. I'm telling you. What would you have to say about that?
Well, I'm kind of so on that because my best friend is one of the greatest Elegun Shango in America. I will say that. His Shango comes down and you will never forget the messages. That I know so many people that don't have feminine energies that they don't, they're gay anyway. So I don't really necessarily think that's true because a lot of people are associated with male Orisha and they're gay anyway. But
Right?
then, I'm also a child of the Vodun. And in Benin, um, where you have Vodun Mami Wata, Mami Sika, there are a lot of, that priesthood is known for having a lot of gay men. And those
Right.
are, mostly female spirits in the rivers and the waters. So I get where they're coming from, but I don't think that explains it totally at all, no.
Okay. So is it safe to say that we can refute that? Because
Yeah.
you said as well, um, being gay is not necessarily the act of having sex.
Yeah, I think we can refute that definitely. And especially Oshun has so many male priests around here that are straight and they have all these kids.
Yeah, no,
So
no,
no.
that's possible. But let me see if I can understand what you're saying. Being gay doesn't mean having sex with men, but it's
Right, not
part of it.
necessarily.
But it is
Uh,
part of
if,
it.
if you so choose to have sex with men, yes, it is.
So having sex with men having sex with men, doesn't necessarily have to be, because I saw this guy, this singer, he made a statement that performing oral sex on a guy doesn't make you gay. I can't remember his name. That was just um oh my god, an African guy from America, and he's saying, "I can make you love me, you don't." He resang it. Tank, Tank. I think
Tank?
Tank.
Oh yeah. Mm,
He made this statement where you can perform oral sex on a guy and it doesn't make you gay. Is that true?
no, no. I think you're at least bi if you're having. I mean, unless. But here's the thing, and I'll say this: I know people who have gone to Nigeria for initiation, and there have been people omoawos at the compounds that were not gay, but they knew that that person was coming from America, probably had some money, and they did sexual things, and they initiated sexual things expecting to be paid. But no, but for the most part, and for my knowledge, we're not gay. But for the most part, no. If you're engaging in oral sex because you want to, you're gay or at least bisexual.
But then earlier you said you could be gay without the act of sex, but once you're in the act of sex with a man, you are gay.
Unless you're being forced to do it or doing it with because you don't want to.
So this is the thing now. So we have some questions here coming up from some of the viewers. Jamie J.J. Simmons, can influences like peers and life experiences cause one to choose to go gay, or there is a thought form that keep occurring to make act on this kind of patterns? So she's basically asking if it is that through one's experiences can then eventually influence one to continue in the act. Same thing for a young lady who has been molested as a young lady for a very long time, that she eventually just has sex with any and anyone because this is what she has experienced and what she has learned. Do you think it's possible for someone to be just carrying on a trend, a pattern of what they would have experienced or learned, rather than actually have an innate desire for a man? That is something that they develop after a time, through the
Mhm.
act, through repetition. Do you think that's possible?
No, I don't. And even if it is, that would certainly account for a very small section of the gay community. The vast majority of people that are gay, that are lesbian, are doing so because that's how they were born and that's how they would like to live their life. But I mean, I can't
Okay,
speak for certain. Now, if someone says that, I can't challenge them if that's their
right,
experience. But I doubt that.
right. So, from my experiences, a lot of young men would have come to me, and when you get down to the bottom of it, is because they were molested by someone in the family or some friend. And when you go to the friend, they were molested by someone, and the pattern continues. And then it becomes a point where they end up in a place where there are a lot of molested people who express themselves in a way, and that now becomes their circle. But if you look at them, they are very, very damaged young men and women. So would you say that they are gay because your initial statement is that you can be gay by feeling and by nature, without having performing sexual acts? But the ones that were not gay, from your terminology, ending up in sexual acts and continuing it, would you say that they are now gay?
Well, again, it's hard without actually speaking to that person. But I would say if they're doing it because they want to, it's hard to believe that just because someone was molested, they're continually having sex with men even without the desire to do so. If the desire is there, those people are gay.
So would you say that, okay, so then yeah, this is the question from Issue Kemi. Not sure if it was asked before. Could someone be born gay? Now, before you answer that question, even if you may say yes, What about the ones that weren't born gay and they actually forced and then actually like it because of repetition? You know how our body works because of repetition. Okay, so there's this young man I know very well. He said that there is now the rectum area is now an evolved sex organ. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that statement was made very, very loud. And I was like, what the hell are you speaking of? Then he went on to explain, through repetition and time or whatever, whatever, we understand that there is also the what he call it, a male G spot. Or excuse my language, I just repeated after him. There's a male G spot, um, the prostate gland that brings a certain pleasure through the act. So where someone may not necessarily be gay by nature, as you were explaining before, but then get addicted to that feeling, would you still consider them gay?
Well, that's complicated because if we're gonna go there, there are some men who are not gay who like to have their wives
Right.
use certain um, apparati on them.
Apparatus.
Yeah,
Right.
in that area. So I suppose not if they're not attracted to the person that is carrying out the act.
But you think it's possible for someone to get addicted to something that wasn't necessarily part of their nature, like cocaine, like drugs? No one is born a lie because their babies born drug addicts through their mother's intake and stuff, right? But
Hmm.
besides that, when someone would have experienced drugs for the first time, because of what it does to their system, they continue and they continue and they continue. Do you think that what I'm asking you here now, where someone would have been forced, molested, raped, or whatever, that would
Hmm.
eventually, because there's a lot of young men in these young facilities where they would go for rectification and actually come out a little more twisted than usual because of, again, the influence and the actual practices in certain spaces. Does it mean that they are gay?
Well, the thing is, with drugs, people recreate that experience because it gave them a feeling of euphoria. They liked the feeling it gave them.
Right.
So if, so if that feeling of being with whoever man it was giving you, if you in that moment something in you found it to be pleasurable, then that's who you
Then you
are.
are then you are gay.
Right.
But you said gay is not necessarily a sexual act.
Right.
Right. So how once someone ends up in a situation where they are performing sexual acts with men through either manipulation or whatever experience they would have had makes them gay if they don't have that initial feeling.
Well, I said that if they don't have the desire, if it's not
So the
pleasurable to them, then they're
initial
not.
feeling, the initial feeling, like you said,
The,
you could be gay because it's about this and that and whatever the case may be without sexual act, and then they are the ones who indulge in the sexual act through force. Does that automatically make them gay?
well, if that initial feeling, to my understanding, that initial feeling would be attraction, would it not?
No, they weren't attracted at all
What
before.
What do you mean by the initial feeling?
Okay, so even the act of sex would trigger certain hormones, um, testosterone, estrogen. I'm just trying to be, and then you get through repetition, your body starts to develop the desire for certain things.
Is that
Like a
true?
young lady
Is
who
that?
never desired sex before and then starts having sex, even though she was raped over and over and over. After a while, she starts to get pleasure out of that. It doesn't mean she desired the actual sex initially.
Hmm.
So because and all of these questions come because of your statement of you can be gay without having a
Right.
sexual act. So I'm asking you now, So that's a feeling. If someone doesn't have the feeling and they're forced into the act, does it make them gay?
Well, at the end of the day, being gay is both. It's two things. It's being attracted to the same sex, and it can just be being attracted, but it also includes acting out on that attraction. So
Right.
if the attraction is not there, then no, they're not gay.
Okay, great. So this is just me being an advocate because a lot of people don't have the conversation, right? Not
Right?
everyone has sex. There are many people who are asexual, yet they can be gay if they are attracted to someone of the same sex. Does
Right.
it does this also mean that they can be attracted to someone of the different sex as well?
Yeah, if they're
Are
asexual, they can.
asexual or something?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's where the whole alphabet thing comes from. Okay, so
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome the Honorable Araba Ifakolade Atinumo. Ibashe Baba, salute to you. Babalawo, welcome.
Yeah, Aboro Aboye, everybody.
Obuatu
Peace
Baba.
and blessing.
Aloha,
How are you, Baba?
Ire for you. Adupe, I'm good.
Nice.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
Cell memory. Yes, Nigo again. It's cell memory. I think that's the term that they use through repetition. And that's what happens. That's why people who are in relationships for a very, very long time get so clingy to each other because it actually becomes part of the person. It's a real
Mhm.
thing. So, Babalawo, allow us to get
Yeah.
you. I know you have a lot of work that you were doing, but we welcome
Hmm.
you back again to Toka TV. And on behalf of the viewers, you know, we are very appreciative of your wisdom and the knowledge that you lend to the Ifa community and by extension the world, right? So this is
Hello?
Ifa Jasa Fashola.
Hello? It is
Yes,
Koto.
Baba, you hearing us?
You touch me. Hold on. But you don't want it. Hello?
Yes, Baba, we are hearing you.
Hello?
Baba.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah, we
what
are
do you
here.
say? I don't hear what you said.
We are just basically saying thank you and welcome for all the energy that
Yeah.
you would have given to the Ifa Orisha community to bring clarity on the Ifa constructs and concepts and teaching, and by extension, the world, because it is our responsibility to share this knowledge, and not just by mouth, but by through our practices as well. So today, the discussion is homosexuality. And we have Ifatuke Ajasa Fashola, a member of the LGBTQ community. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's the acronyms for it. And he's also an IFA initiate.
Mm-hmm.
Babalawo,
Yes,
your,
I'm here.
your picture is frozen, eh?
You see me now?
No? So just log out and come back in. Okay, I see you now.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. So Ifatoki was explaining to us the his understanding of homosexuality and the origins of homosexuality and what it means to homosexuals, and he was explaining the misconceptions and stuff like that. We have a lot of questions coming in. You know, we were even taught by Alicia Hall, if that's the correct pronunciation, that not everyone has sex. There are asexuals as well, meaning they don't have sex at all, you know, and they can also be gay and also be attracted to the same sex, you know. So from an Ifa perspective, Ifa Tuki, before I allow Babalawo to before I ask, sorry, before I ask Babalawo to intervene and educate us on the subject, what is Ifa's stance on homosexuality? What is your teaching on that, Ifatuki?
Well, my Oluos compound doesn't teach anything about homosexuality at all. He doesn't speak on it at all. So, but my teaching from what I've heard from Elder Babalawos is basically Ofunirete and some other Odus that speak about homosexuality, which none of them say that it is taboo. They may mention it's better to do this or it's better to do that, which is purely allegorical in nature. But to start, it's important to understand that Ifa is not the Bible. The word of Ifa is always expanding. Ifa can reveal a verse to any of his awos at any time. And
Right.
a very competent Babalawo and others, they have ways of verifying if a verse is legitimate or not. And it is true that there are verses that have been tainted by these Abrahamic religions. There are verses people are producing that speak of some guy, Jewesun, the son of God. There are verses that tell people to put a Muslim prayer Bible, Muslim prayer beads on their Ifa. So there are some times where you probably should check to see if a verse is tainted or not. But we have to understand Ifa is not the Bible. You can't use Ifa to paint for everybody because the Bible is one set text. Ifa is always growing. You have to consult Ifa because when you have a problem and you go to the pastor is going to give you a book. He's going to give you a verse that coincides with your issue. But that's not what Ifa does. Ifa speaks
Right.
against Ifa speaks against many things that are perfectly normal. In some Odus, Ifa speaks against swimming. And then there are
Right.
Odus where there's some Odus where Ifa says that you should give other people slaves for free. There are Odus where Ifa says that you should be good to your slave master. So it becomes problematic when we try to use Ifa as a moral scale.
Okay,
Ifa,
Ejawawo. So let me ask a question then. If and
sure.
it's up to you. Who is your Uluwo?
I was initiated by Oluwa Fashola Faniyi Babatunde in Shangota,
In
Nigeria. That's where I did Ifa
Shangwata,
and
Nigeria.
Egbe.
Okay. So a Nigerian Ifa priest initiated you.
Yeah, I was initiated in Nigeria. Yes.
Okay. But you said he never spoke about homosexuality.
Honestly, I don't talk about it. It's illegal in Nigeria, so I didn't go there speaking about anything. I know they know that I'm gay because they went through my phone. They looked at everything in there, so they know. But it's just not
So
something.
you think they have to go through your phone to know that you're gay? If I took it?
Maybe they didn't. Who knows? But they knew. I'm sure they
I
know.
think they know, and it's all good. It's all good. It's love, nevertheless. So with what? So I got another voice notes already, right? But so you would have been able to quote some of the Odus that would have speak about homosexuality, but you are saying that is not clear.
What's not clear?
Some of the Odus are saying about homosexuality.
Well, that's true. That is true because let's say for Ofunirete, where it says that if a man has sex with a man, it says if it's better for a man to have sex with a woman, and it says that it's if a man has sex with a man, you'll get lumps or boils or so and so. That's allegory. I don't have any lumps or boils. Never did. Been doing this for
Right?
11 years. But above that, it says that palm oil is better to eat with yam. So if I don't, who in Trinidad likes to eat yam with palm oil? Are
Who
we
in Trinidad
breaking likes to
so
eat
you're
yam with
saying
palm oil? Are we
so go
are we
ahead.
inviting the Ajagun into our lives because we don't like palm oil with yam? So it's allegory in that Odu. Absolutely. And even if it wasn't, it says what's better. It doesn't say what is absolutely taboo for Iva.
Okay.
It
Okay.
doesn't say
So
it.
it's your perception of the message that allows you to come to the conclusion, as long as it's not definitively taboo, that is not applicable to you or
It's
to
not
man.
just that. It's not just that. It's the fact that nothing in Ifa is applicable to everybody.
That's
That's
for
the whole
sure.
point. That's the whole
That's for
point of
sure.
divination. We wouldn't
Right.
need to go on divine if it was.
So you're saying once it doesn't come for you in divination, it is not your taboo.
Not necessarily, because when I was initiated, there were general taboos for owls that were given to me, and then there were the taboos in my ita.
Right. Okay. So you believe there are general Ifa taboos,
Yes, I do.
right? But you don't believe homosexuality is one.
No.
Understood. Um. So guys, you know what? Let me just go. Abraboye Araba, thank you for being here. Can you bring some clarity on this topic, Baba, in terms of what Ifatuki Ajasa Fashola is indicating to the public?
Aboru Aboye,
But to
How about
I greet every one of you in the name of Onimela. I pray that the blessings of today and tomorrow and forever, each and every one of us shall be blessed by Onimela and all of Olodumare.
Ashe?
I welcome our Ifashola Fatuk as our Fatuki Ajasa Fashola. I congratulated him for his Ifa initiation.
Thank you. Ashe.
You initiated in a good place by a confirmed and respected Oluwo.
Thank you, Baba.
Your Oluwo's father is one of the respected elders that he got one of the head title in Hawo, or it was Odofin Hawo of Ibadan during his lifetime. Your Oluwo, I pray for good health and long life for him. He is
Ashe.
also the Awishe of Otaland, Shangu Ota. He's a person I know very well and a knowledgeable Awo. I don't think your Oluwo will ever support being an homosexual person.
Mhm.
Homosexual is not our culture in Yoruba land, and it's not culture of Ifa. Once it did not come out of your Odu, as you said, what a stanza in Ofun Irete, that palm oil is good to heat yam, also yam is good to eat palm oil. It is good to sleep with woman than sleep with man. If I already spoke about that, that it's not good for the same sex to be together, to sleep together. Not only Opunrete spoke about it, there are some other odus that say that it is not advisable and not good for people for the same sex to be sleeping together. Now we have general taboo. It is because it's not our culture. We are not used to it. We don't even know anything about it. This word homosexual start to be hearing in Yoruba land, let's say in less than 10 years. Less than 10 years. It's not in Ifa. And whatever is not good, that Ifa said is not good, that Yoruba said is not good, all those things are bringing bad energy into community. So it's not good for us to be an homosexual. We need to let all other owls. It's a choice. It's a choice. You understand me? But it's not something that is good. And as he said that Ifa is not like Bible, I don't think a pastor or a reverend father can quote some chapter in the Bible where Bible supports homosexual. Sọ fún mọ̀mọ́ ẹ̀ kó bá pé gbẹ̀ngà pé mo wà lórí program. So where Bible supports homosexual, no. So and I don't think other religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and all other religions, I don't think that they support homosexual. It is their choice. Those who are into it. You understand me? So Ifa may not spoke about it directly, and it might not come within your Hodu. We cannot say that because something is not part of our Hodu, it's not come out of my Hodu, and people said it is a taboo that can bring bad energy into community. There are some other things apart from homosexual, like things that we are doing. In the olden days, when they want to roast yam for Ogun, they don't roast it in the town. They will go into the farm where they pick it from the ground, and they will start to put fires and put the yams on the fire to roast it. But nowadays we are bringing a lot of things that because we can't go to the farm and we want to feed Ogun, we just put the yam in the gas. But we are telling people that it is not advisable to be roast yam inside the house. It's better we go to the backyard of the house, put the fires together, so that it will, whatever the energies that comes out of it will not affect the house. But some of our people are doing things because of money. Because I could remember 2 years ago when I went to United States, one young owl asked me, how can I guide him on how to do marriage for two couples and they are gay? I asked him, I said, who is your Oluwo? He mentioned his name. I said, this is not good. If I did not support it, he said, this is what his Omawo wants, and he don't want them to move to leave his temple. I told him that day, I said, if they leave your temple, another pet is better to have few people with good energies than have plenty people with bad energies in our community. And if we insist on telling them that this thing is not good, I believe that out of 10 people that we spoke to, 6 or 7 will confuse and come back to normal. You understand? These homosexuals energies or attitude or whatever they can call it is not part of FIFA, and it's not part of Yoruba culture. Aboro Aboye.
But Baba, so there are a lot of people. So why does one personal life be reflected on their spiritual calling if they are spiritually in decency and order? This is from Lana Campbell, another loyal viewer. Lana, if you understood what Baba was saying, the spiritual calling that you're speaking of is what, because it is not good. It is taboo in Ifa, and Baba is also saying it is a choice, but we need to understand that it is taboo according to Ifa. Now, Baba said it is a choice, so it is not a definite wrong. Okay, so Ishukemi Mindija is saying Baba said it is a choice, so it is not a definite wrong, which I think is what Ajasa is also saying, right? It is just not advisable. But if done, just be prepared to stand the consequences individually and within the community. So I don't understand, Miss Giles and Miss Campbell, if you are saying it is a choice, it is not a definite wrong. I don't believe that there's a line or a gray area to toe with if it's a definite wrong or not. If you understand how Ifa priests operate, I remember this one time, Araba Ifakolade told me when I was dealing with a situation, he said, you are not Olodumare Ifakolade. I said, what do you mean? Not because you have the knowledge of the situation means everyone will have the same knowledge and accept what you are saying. You have to let Olodumare do Olodumare's work. So even though you all are saying there is not a definite wrong, but there will be a consequence, that to me means there's a reward. What is your take on this, Ifatuke?
Well, I heard that. I hear a lot of people saying that. Again, Baba said himself that Ifa does not speak on it directly. But I also believe that Ifa is a practice of common sense. You need to have your own common sense. So when you're saying that, oh, it's there are bad consequences and that there are the practice of homosexuality will cause the Ajogun to come down on you or to come seek for you, and you have to be able to paint the picture of how that's going to happen, of what what sensibly is happening to introduce that bad energy. Because some people like to say, oh, it's going to cause disease. Having straight heterosexual
Yeah,
sex can cause
definitely,
disease.
definitely.
So you have to be able to show what consequences are going to come from two people doing things, two adult people consensually doing what they do. I don't see the
Right.
picture.
Okay. So let me just clarify a question from Lana again. It does not mean that they are not welcome in IFA. IFA is for everyone. IFA is to assist everyone uh, towards their destiny, right? But let me say this: not because it doesn't come in your ita to say you shouldn't rub someone. You shouldn't. That means that it's okay to rub someone. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that descriptive. IFA is not literal. It is not literal. You know.
Oh, it's
Um,
not because you.
No. It encompasses a lot. You know, that is why there are so much stories in one Odu that
But
the
that's
Babalawo now has to have the ability to know which one applies to you. You understand? Another thing you don't understand with Babalawos is that sometimes there are some things that they cannot tell you at a certain time that will also help you because sometimes you have to learn things on your own. You know, they are not God. They are messengers of God or messengers of Urumela. You understand? So to say
Samuel.
they are welcome. So we have here. So you're actually saying, and I agree with you. There are a lot of other things that would bring Ajogun into the community, like rape, like stealing, like
right, and
molestation.
you can clearly see how those things would bring negativity into the community. Whereas with this topic, it's really not that clear.
Really?
Right, and then you say E5 is not literal, but then
Okay.
but we're
Have you
taking
ever gone into a
Ofunyerete
community?
literally.
Which part of America you live, sir?
Miami.
Miami.
Hmm.
Have you ever went into Harlem?
Yes.
Right. Have you ever lived there?
No.
Do you understand the code there?
The code.
Yeah, the code of living.
No.
According to their understanding, robbing, killing, stealing is a normal part of life because of their circumstances. So to them, their truth is robbing, killing, and stealing. Though, does it mean that it is okay because it's their truth and their circumstance? Is it okay?
I'm not seeing the line of connection here,
Okay, so
but
the line
no.
of connection is according to the sect or the your environment, people will agree to certain things, even though it may seem some other people may disagree. And it's according to which side of the fence you're on. So then there has to be some neutral or mutual understanding, some neutrality as to where our morality stems from. Where does your morality stem from? Because you wouldn't kill, but somebody else in another area would kill, and they would think it justifiable according to their circumstance and situation. Is it okay? Awo?
Well, for the morality section, the morality factor here is what factors into another person's life. I know because this is Ifa. This is a part of Yoruba culture where they have omoluabi, somebody who is hardworking, somebody who respects the rights of others. Doesn't say anything about that. That's what it's about. So if you're killing, if you're murdering, if you're robbing, you are disrespecting the rights of other people.
So you
So that's
think it's
different.
only pertaining to mankind?
What's only pertaining to mankind? What's
The
up?
acts of human beings are only offensive to other human beings.
No, they can be offensive to the spirit, but most of the time, if something is offensive to your spirit, it has to do with something on the human level. There are some spirits that don't want you to eat certain things, which of course has nothing to do with other humans.
So what about Olodumare's will?
Where in Ifa does it say
what about
Olodumare is
that?
offended? Ifa doesn't
Huh?
state that Olodumare is offended by that.
So then why would we have the Odus that speak about it? Is there any Odu that actually says, go ahead?
They may not be, but no one will know all verses of one Odu. Every Odu has
Right.
a
But have you ever
thousands of
heard
verses.
of any one person that said, Odu says, go ahead?
They don't have to because, as I said, there's Odus that say don't swim. There's Odus that say give people slaves. So does that apply to everyone? Does it? So we can't pick and choose when we are going to take the Odu corpus literally and when we're not because it's going to prove our point.
So you're saying that as long as it is not definitive, it's okay to interpret because of how Odu speaks.
All Babalawos interpret. That's what you when you sit down for a divination, they're interpreting. That's why you got to go to a good Baba.
So you have to go to a good Babalawo.
Yeah.
Right. So we have the Araba Ifakolade here. Ifatuki Ajasa. We have a lot of comments. Let me just go through the comments really quickly before I allow Araba to speak. Why do I keep saying allow?
Yes.
I asked the Araba to speak again. Guys, send your voice notes now so we could involve in this conversation. Yes, part of the problem is that we have not yet established the purpose of IFA relative to the purpose of humanity. People are going to continue to interpret the meaning of IFA's message according to what is convenient until the Babalawo get definitive about what exactly we are trying to accomplish. So basically what this person is saying is that sometimes the Babalawos are even responsible for not being very clear, but it's not very easy to some of them. As I said, sometimes you just have to leave people. If it brings bad energies to the community, then it is bad. Jamie Simmons said, your spouse can bring negativity to you. Yes, there are also a lot of things that can bring bad energy to the community. The goal in IFA is to have ire in our life. Homosexuality don't bring ire. Now
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Awosami, that is a lie. HSM Baba Aruele Fakayode. We choose Ori, so it is choice of what you want to come to this material world to do. It shows contradiction, I think, because Ifa tells us how Ori was chosen. Ifa is not literal. My Lana Campbell, no, I try to go through it. My belief is when higher forces are present, they don't see a person personally, but a body that can execute their job. Samantha Rodriguez, if a Pereira divination thinks, so what are you saying? One day man can make children one day. I'm not saying that at all.
Irrelevant.
Our esteemed panel, we should not be prejudiced. I don't think anyone's being prejudiced. We're just trying to bring clarity. And that is why this topic is so hard to have, because people automatically think that you are attacking someone when you are actually just trying to be as factual as possible. Sometimes it's offense because it's not the other person's truth. Miss Mindy Giles, yes. Kingsley Omoruyi, to be gay is a choice. Mindy Giles, if people engage in homosexuality and have been living well, that is, have not experienced any negative consequences, they may eventually feel it's okay. Wouldn't this encourage them to continue? And I totally agree. Sammy, how can you say that? It have doctors and successful people who are gay. All right, so before I continue, let me just clarify this, right? Monetary gain, quote unquote, physical success does not constitute whether you are doing the right thing or not. If you would have watched past episodes of Ask the Araba Ifakolade, he would have stated that the sweetest thing to indulge in is taboo. That's the thing that is taste. Man, taboo is real, like set up your life, but it's when we have to face the consequence after. You never know the time or the hour when the consequence will come to you from the attribute. Issue is one you can never predict. Let us do not get mistaken. At the end of the day, who created IFA rules? Just curious. I don't think anyone created IFA rules, Miss Campbell. So, Miss Asabi Shania, I do believe that if I speaks on homosexuality in more detail, however, Babalawos do not share full information. That's where the misunderstanding comes from. I totally agree. Some information is just a bit hard to tell someone because you have to understand that IFA's help is not a moment. It's not today. If I tell you everything and then you go about living your life, that's not how it works. You understand? If I was going to tell you the things that are most relevant at that point in time, or what you need to hear in order for you to move forward. Ifa knows everything that we know and what we don't know, what we understand, what we choose not to understand. Ifa knows. Ifa knows everything. So Ifa is not going to tell you something that you already know. That's when Ifa going to give you the answer that you're looking for. Ifa is, I've seen it happen time and time again in Dafa. You come in to ask your name. Is my name Sean Sig? Ifa what you so what? Look, so we need to understand that as well. What I have seen so far about Ifa and homosexuality is that Ifa says that it is better for a man to be with a woman and a woman with a man. Ifa does not outright condemn it. Babalawo,
Yeah.
address this to me, please. People are saying that once this statement is made, it is better. Does it mean that it is taboo? Because I think people are taking
What
the words of Ifa very literal.
whatever is wrong is wrong. Whatever is not good is not good. Ifa said it is better for a man to sleep with a woman. So also better for a woman to sleep with a man. That is clear it that Ifa did not support homosexuality. Ifa did not support stealing.
Right.
Those who want to be a stealer, a thief, choose it to be a steal. Because when you are working, somebody is sleeping in your farm and is sleeping at home. By the time that your corn reap, he went there and started to cultivate your corn. That is his own choice to be a stealer, to be a thief. Whenever they catch him or her while stealing, any punishment that he or she gets is the repercussion, the profit of the wrong thing that he's doing. So also, whenever a person says something is wrong, and because it's not part of your taboo, as you said earlier, that how can you choose to be a stealer? How can you choose to be a wicked person? It's not right. And it's part of taboo, like 16 laws of FIFA, that we are not supposed to mislead other people.
Yes,
It's
Baba.
like if any Awo supports homosexuality, any Awo, either you are a young Awo or an elder Awo or an adept Awo, you are not supposed to support anything that IFA against. You are not supposed to say that because my Odu did not tell me that in my Odu I must not be a wicked person. Why must I choose to be a wicked person? When I know that it's not good for us to be wicked anyone. Why must I choose to be that? It means I'm not a good Ifa priest. I'm using my energies to confuse other young, especially the younger people. There are some people that it is not their intention to be an homosexual person.
Right.
Maybe he started being harassed by some elder,
Right.
either his or a stepfather, or his uncle, or his brother, or his teacher. So we are not supposed to say that because my uncle started to harass me with something like that, that okay, let me start to be doing that. So why
Right.
can't I seek advice from an elderly person that, uncle, this is what my uncle did to me last night. And he said, I mustn't tell anyone. If our children, our young ones, start to seek advice from other, either as a young boy, if your uncle introduced you to something like that, or your teacher, or your brother, you're supposed to tell your mom. And I believe that your mom will not support it. That is mistake we are doing. No parent, once is he or she is not a gay. And let's believe that Orumila supports reproduction. How are you going to reproduce when two men are sleep together, or the two women are sleep together? How are you going to reproduce? You understand me?
Yes,
So,
Baba.
or both of you will say that you are couple and you adopt child. All the labor that you are labor from your life, who is going to be inherited it? All your experience in Ifa, who is going to inherit it where you don't plan on how to have your own? Let me use my side an example of Ifatoki Ajasasu. If you ask your Oluwos his biography, you will give him a lot of respect as young as he is. You understand? He maintained his father's name. He respects his father's name. And the whole community, not only in Sangwater, both in Ogun State and in Oyo State, especially in Ibadan, always respect him. His father, he has passed away, and his name is also, it exists in the book of our temple, the Osemeji Temple in Ibadan. He has his own temple in Sangwater, and his children inherited it, and they are maintaining it. As a matter of fact, what they are doing in that temple, in order for the promotion and development of FIFA religion, so they will never support homosexuality in that temple. And also, as an initiate Awo from that temple, ancestral temple in Shangwater, they will tell you that, my dear brother, this thing is not good. It's taboo of the land. It's taboo of Ifa. Also, it's taboo of Olodumare. What legacy you want to make? There's no good legacy for anybody that is not ready to reproduce. If you look at our father, our forefather, when they plant yams, by the time they want to cultivate the yam, they will not take out the whole yam. They will cut the head and put it back in the ground with the hope to come back next year to get some other food. That is part of reproduction. Look at animals. No male animal sleep with any other male animals. No rooster sleep with other rooster. No dog sleep with dogs. No rat sleep with male rat. Why must it be we human being that we are supposed to be a teacher for others? We are the one train the dog. You understand? We are trained all those animals. We are trained cats. Why can't we talk to ourselves? Is this thing that I'm doing, is this the right thing? So I said it's a choice because that is what we chose to do. But when you initiate it to Ifa, and you hear that Ofuriyete says this and this and this, so that already tells us that it's totally out of Ifa religion. It's totally part of, not part of Ifa Yoruba culture. We don't use to it. We don't know anything about it. As a matter of fact, if you ask an elderly person that's not educated at all, I'm happy that you came to Nigeria. So all those elders, if you meet some elders, they will start to interpret what they are saying for you. and interpret what you are saying to them. And some other young Awo in Nigeria, not all of them understand English. Not every one of them understand your language. You understand? They have to interpret to them. So I implore you to look at Ifa very well. I can't confuse you, but to advise you and also advise others. So we are talking about Ajogun. We don't know what can happen because we are misleading others. We are misleading young ones. We are not supposed to do that. Like rape is not part of Yoruba culture. Instead of doing that, they prefer having wife at home and look for woman outside. And that is why in olden days, before a man gets married, it's over 25 years. So also woman. Even 25 years old man or 25 years old girl that get married, they will say that it's too early. They are over 30 sometimes. So they don't use to it. We men and we boys and girls, we slept in the same room and nothing happened between both of us. You understand? But nowadays, so you can't put a 15 years or 12 years old girl and 10 years old girl, you can't allow them to sleep in the same house or on the same bed. I, as a person, one of my Oluwo's sister, younger sister, we slept in the same room for over 7 years, in the same room on the same mat, and nothing happened between both of us. The respect is still there till tomorrow. That is why people don't give respect to each other. And it is in Orumila house that we have respect. If you see a young child in the Ifa house, let me say 1.5 to 2 years old child, if he or she wants to greet you, he will greet you or she will greet you with respect. If she wants to give you something, she will give you with respect. That is Ifa. It is in Orumila house that you can learn. And that is why Ifa said, whenever we wake up, let us wake up and we share wisdom to each other. Tá a bá ti jí ọgbọ́n ni ká máa kọ́ra ẹni. A kì í jí ní kùtùkùtù ká pilẹ̀ wèrè. We must never wake up in the morning and start madness. And whatever we think about it that we are not seeing the solution, let's go to our Ifa. So, wisdom, respect is in the house. And love. And love. So, homosexuality is not part of our religion. And also, anything that is not good, that Ifa did not support, those are the things that are bringing bad energies into community. We cannot say that this is what is going to bring. We cannot say this is what is going to come. Now, look at what is happening in some areas, like crime. You understand? Like art things. It's part of bad energies that we are bringing. It's part of the of the things that are not good. We need to control all those things by ourselves, by not choose wrong things, by think of what we want to choose, by think of what we want to do with the younger ones. So we need to think of it. We, Ifa priests, are the one that people supposed to come and learn from. You understand? We are supposed to be teaching others. If you look at Orumila, he's the speaker among the other Orisha. And he also be the one that teach others. Or go give Orumila a child to talk to learn Ifa, Shango, every Obatala, all of them. Apart from being initiated to that particular Orisha, also Ifa. Many of them learn Ifa. If they want to say
We're
this
not
word,
seeing
they
you,
say,
Babalawo. Not seeing you.
So it because of the current here now. Yeah.
Oh no.
You
Oh, okay.
understand?
We seeing the ceiling.
So, I mean,
We seeing the ceiling, the roof.
okay. Ah, but that's not the ceiling. It's back of the chair. It's cutting of the back of where I sat.
Okay, okay, okay. But we hearing you though. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Baba.
So we need to control that thing by ourselves. This is self-control, self-control, self-discipline. If you say that you don't want to do this thing now, when they give you taboo, maybe you love to eat chicken before, or you love to eat fish. And Ifa said, fish is your taboo. So how are you going to do it? You have to accept it as your taboo because it's part of your destiny. If you go to a community and they said this is taboo of our community, you have to comply with it because you want to live in that community. You understand? If you break their taboo, you don't know what they are going to do for you. Now look at what is happening everywhere this time. I don't think there's a country you can go now that they will not put you in quarantine for 2 weeks. How are you going to? Who are you that will say that? Oh, I entered this community. I am not going to isolate myself. It's not possible for you. Even if you are the child, the son of another country prime minister or president, you must comply with the law of that land. So part of our taboo is misleading others. Part of our taboo is deceit others. By doing homosexual, saying homosexual is good, we are misleading the younger ones. By practice homosexual with one person, we are misleading him or her. Same way go,
Okay.
they pay more cut phone, man.
Okay, Baba. Thank you. If that's okay. I know you said a lot there, but I try to remember as much, and I know you've been taking notes as well, right? Let me just
Yes, I
bring one
have.
of the comments from Turanish Raymond. Is a matter of interpretation. Why did not Ifa say homosexuality is forbidden in a very straight way? Homosexuals exist. What are we going to do? And I think this is what we need to get to at the end of the day. What are we going to do? Exterminate them? What is the solution? People are born with hormone.
If I query, let me answer. If I query, let me answer that question.
Yes,
Because
Baba.
Orumila already knows that this thing is not good. Orumila knows that this thing is not good. And it's not worth, there's nothing we are doing in this world that is good that they are not doing in heaven. I have never been there. You have never been there. As I said, let's look at our animals. There's no male dog that sleeps with male dog. There's no male goat that sleeps with male goats. There's no male ram that is sleep with male ram. Look at birds. No rooster sleep with another rooster. Look at duck. No male duck sleep with other male ducks. Look at us or donkey. No male dog sleep with another male donkey. Instead
Well,
of that, they look for woman, the female one.
Baba.
You understand? That
Yes.
is not part of nature. It's not happening in creation. And that is
Well,
why if I advise her that woman is better, is more sweeter than to sleep than men for
but
man.
Baba, yes. But if
Yes.
that's okay, he says that there are over 1,500 species of animals that practice same sex. Am I correct, if that's okay?
Yes, that is true. There's tons of research available, tons of instances. Most recently, it was a pair of lions that did it that everyone was going crazy about. But yes, it is true. There are 1,500 animal species that engage in same-sex practices.
Okay, so are you speaking about that is their practice or that was an occasion?
That was something they did. I can't say if they always do it, but either
Right,
way,
but
they
what
did.
I think so I would, that was yeah, actually excited me for a bit. But there are things that can happen that doesn't necessarily mean it's natural, and we have to work with the word natural here, meaning the intent from the inception of things. You know, I'm not saying that people cannot indulge in other things, you know, but how much lions do you really see? No, most times you would see a lion with most of his lionesses. He will have a pride that he will be moving with, and to say that you can um, say that it is okay because you saw two lions doing it. I think that means every single thing is okay, every single thing, because there are men who have desire for 4 year olds, and that is his feeling. That is what moves him. Does it mean that it is okay? I don't think that it is okay. Do we understand the predicament of the homosexual? Of course we do. Should we be just dormant or ignorant about it, or should we be even encouraging it? No. Should we be discriminating? No, we should not be discriminating. Should we have conversations like what we're having today? Of course we should, so we could understand what is expected of us.
Okay, just to
By the
clarify, there are instances of animals that regularly, normally engage in that activity. But I'm definitely following you here.
right? Okay, thanks. Well, you know, we could always clarify that as well. Makiba Gabriel wants to know if all babalawos share the same stance on homosexuality. I think that is a very good question, because I think that's what brings a lot of confusion um, to the tradition as well. No, Aurela, Ifa is not a religion in inception, but people understand it that way. I think you know that. I believe as long as you enter, I believe, Alana Campbell, I believe as long as you enter in the house of Orumela in decency and order, no one should judge. Let the higher forces do their part. No wrong is bigger or better. And I agree to part of your statement, Alana, where no wrong is bigger or better. If a man is having sex with the whole village, he is wrong. If a man is raping a young lady or young man, he is wrong. If a man is thieving from someone, he is wrong. If a man is no, and I want to be very clear. It doesn't mean that people don't understand. They just don't agree with the act. And I think that's where a lot of people take offense when we're having conversations like this. People understand what people are experiencing. We actually, some people can even relate, but it doesn't mean people agree. And when people disagree, people think people are discriminating. No one is discriminating, but we are bringing clarity. It come like if you have a child, because I know Baba said it's about
Nígbà tí gbogbo yìí
procreation.
ayé nìkan lè fi tàbí.
It is about procreation, and a homosexual can easily say, well, I could just go and have sex with a woman and procreate and I go back my business normal with the man. But he's saying it's a lot deeper than that. And you asked me a question earlier before the Babalawo came. What about a man and a woman having sex not to procreate? Babalawo, you want to explain that?
Not what?
Like you said,
Hello?
man and woman is for procreation, right?
Mm.
Hello?
Reproduction.
For reproduction, right?
Yeah.
But not all men and women have sex to reproduce. They have sex for pleasure, right?
Yes.
So when they have sex for pleasure, isn't it the same thing that the homosexual is doing? He is pleasing himself or his desires.
Now, we can have, man and woman can have sex for pleasure. The time to have child is different from how you you play when you want to have pleasure. It's not every day or every month you have to reproduce. You understand me?
Yes,
When
Papa.
you it's a certain period, and after reproduction, you still need to satisfy each other. You understand me? That is you understand. That is
Uh-huh.
man and woman as couple. That is the right that is supposed to do for each other within each other. That is how their relationship going to be last. That is what can bring comfort into their relationship when they call themselves to perform the right that they're supposed to do. It's not every time or every day or every week that we're supposed to say that we are having sex for to reproduce. You understand? Another
Right.
thing is that why are we doing what our father did not do? I don't think that all these homosexual people can say that their father too was homosexual. You understand? Or
Right.
can say that their mother was also an homosexual. They can be like they think that this thing is not good. That is how they gave birth to you. That is why you carry their name. So also raping. It's not common, it's not happening in Yoruba land. It is nowadays something, nowadays culture, that people will look at a young person say that he want to rape her. No. As a matter of fact, Yoruba respect sex. All this sex that are doing everywhere on the by the savannah, on the by the, in the car, also, it's not common. When they want to sleep in the room, they always take off the light to give respect to each other. You understand me? So those all what we are doing nowadays is not what we're supposed to be doing, and that is why all our young children are doing the wrong things, and we are not ready to correct them. When they want to sleep together, they don't sleep in front of their grown-up children. You understand? They look for ideal place. That is why some people that they have wife at home and they have girlfriend like concubine, they went into a far place like an old building,
Right.
like in the farm. The farmer used to have some little house that they call hut in the farm. They will look at a place where another person will not see them. It is because they respect themselves. They respect that word, sex. So are we supposed to be respect it and let our young children know that we are supposed to respect that sex. It's not something either we want to use it for pleasure, we want to do it for fun. We are not supposed to disrespect it. You
Right.
understand? But nowadays that we are wearing the cloth that given not give respect to our body, especially women. And there are some men that they don't give respect to their head. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not compulsory that until you be a chief in the community that you're supposed to give respect to yourself. As a responsible man, as a responsible child that come from a respect home, you're supposed to give respect to yourself so that people will give respect to you. You don't respect yourself, you already lose respect from others. So any woman that they like to squeeze her here, squeeze her there, the community will not respect her. Any man that like to harass this woman and go with this woman, the community will not respect her. No matter how wealth, how wisdom, even if he has wisdom, he will not do so. If he has good wisdom, he will not do the wrong thing. Each has to respect himself and respect his name and respect his family. Boro Aboye.
Batu. Well, Baba, Fatuke, so a lot of people are asking, and allow me to answer. If I'm wrong, you can correct me, Baba. Does it mean that IFA is condemning that homosexuals cannot be an IFA devotee? IFA is for everyone, and it is up to you. If you are an, there's just the thing. You cannot be an IFA devotee and not follow IFA. You can identify with IFA, you can affiliate with IFA, but if you are devoted to IFA, homosexuality is taboo. According to IFA, according to the Araba Ifakolade Atunumo. Now, if there is anyone, Baba Awurela Fakayode, anyone that knows Odu that supports homosexuality, I welcome it. I welcome it into the conversation, so we can have, that understanding. Again, Alana, I do not think anyone is condemning anyone, but as Jamie would have said, there are a lot of people. Let me go back to Shania's comment. Exactly how many babalawos we really know. A lot of people are calling themselves babalawos because they initiated and they could chant a verse or two. But are they babalawo? I say without an apology, no, they are not babalawos. We have to be very careful of following people who have their own agendas and calling themselves babalawos behind closed doors. They're not going to go to Nigeria. Or some people, even from Nigeria, not going Nigeria and call themselves babalawos amongst real babalawos. We have to be very, very careful of that. There are people with agendas out here, and they push their own agenda. This what we are getting here, and somebody can test me if they feel like, and bring the proof. Don't give me your opinion, give me proof that the things that we are being told here by the Araba Ifakolade Atunumo is Ifa's teachings, not his opinion. How many babalawos we really know? Not because we were initiated means that you are a baba, and we have to be careful of that, right? Are all people designed to bear offsprings? No. I will also say that there are some curses that are on people. Yeah, there are people. Is homosexuality a taboo in Ifa? Yes, it is. I agree. We know right from wrong. Lana Campbell, yes, we know right from wrong. I just want to know, are we going to stop gay people from worshiping Ifa? That is not our choice. And that's what Babalawo said in the beginning. I think even if Atoki would have mentioned that before, it is a choice. But today's conversation is about understanding whether it is taboo or not and why. It is not just an opinion. It is law of Ifa. It is a universal taboo. And Babalawo was giving us reasons why, right? If anyone refutes it, I say again, people can disagree. You cannot accept it personally for whatever reason, just like choice. But bring the evidence to refute what the Babalawo is saying. And we can continue to have the discussion. If you are a Babalawo, you are a well-trained Ifa priest, you can come and you can say, or even if you have teachings from an Ifa priest yourself, Ifa says this, so it is okay to be a homosexual. I good. I can't say anything, but we can't just give an opinion. We need to bring facts, That's why people are allowing all kinds of nonsense and corrupting the place and giving Ifa a bad name and practice. Some the fake one doing their own thing and not following protocol. And I think that's something we need to understand. If I am a man and I am an Ifa devotee, I call myself a Babalawo, and I am only taking people's money and not doing their work, it is taboo. It is taboo as well. It doesn't need to come up in my ita. It is also taboo because it is not good for my community. So to say we have to say specific words, the Odu Ifa says, do not, man should not insert private parts into man. No, it doesn't work like that. And if you're looking for that, that means you're making excuses. This is me personally. But there is no, unless Ifatoki or anyone that could correct me, any spiritual moral teaching, anyone that actually promotes homosexuality, please let me know. Right? I have a couple voice notes to play. If there's a rule where it says a babalawo can choose who he should and should not initiate. No, Lana, I say again, that is not true. IFA is for everyone. Being gay does not mean being disrespectful.
Mami,
No.
text your boy. Pray, our family and pray me. Have to go and
Right.
have 3 minutes more.
Being gay does not mean being disrespectful. But Lana, there are a lot of people that are gay, as Ifatuki would have mentioned, that you would not even know they are gay. So we have to clarify the difference between the feeling and the behavior. Because I think what makes most people annoyed is the behavior of some gay people. They're just over the edge, exaggerated, have no respect for the other people around them. They're right offended. It comes like this. Some people find a young man wearing his pants under his butt disrespectful. Should the young man pull up the pants in the presence of an elder? Would you consider it respect or not? If I took you, what you think?
Well, I think that's just respectability politics. How does someone else living however they want to live, being as flamboyant as they want to live, how does that disrespect you as a person? That's
Okay.
flawed
Okay.
thinking.
So let me explain, right? If I have a son, which I do, and I am teaching my son certain principles and moralities that I stand by and I go to, right?
Hmm.
Yes, I am. And then I have this guy in the presence of my son with a pants that is up in his butt. He have on a big glitter boots and he drags his butt on the ground for everything, calling it death drops, right? Time and place would suggest that there are people here who does not support your expression, right? And it's the same way if the individual now who does not support the expression chooses to express himself towards that person violently, remember, it's still an expression, chooses to express himself violently, he is now going to be considered being discriminating or aggressive or disrespectful. So respect goes both ways. But sometimes some homosexuals, as you say, some of them are not really gay, they're just overly expressive, right? Would go in people's space and be all disrespectful. You have to understand, not because it's your expression or your feeling means you can express it in front of everyone. That's not how respect works. It comes like obscene language. There are a lot of people who would love to curse, but you can't curse in the presence of certain people because it disrespects them. It doesn't mean you don't feel like, but it disrespects them. And we have to understand cause and effect. We have to make proper choices, right? So let me just, because we have to wrap up really quickly. The reality is that it is if homosexuality is taboo in Ifa. Babalawo already said it is someone's choice whether they want to or not. I think a lot of what Baba is saying is based on European social construct, which is not surprising since we have a history of being controlled by European. We need to separate Ifa Orisha values with European. Turanish Raymond, do you have proof of that, or is it that what you just think? We have an strong, established Babalawo here giving us the facts, yet still are we just trying to find a loophole in it? So you think that he is saying it based on European social construct? Tell me another tradition, religion, spiritual belief that does not say that homosexuality is taboo, and then show me how. That's right. I'm not saying that FIFA is not for homosexuals. We all have, every single human being has their challenges and their difficulties. It's not just homosexuality. Everybody have challenges, personal taboos, and general IFA taboos that they have to deal with. This is why we go to IFA to consult, for us to abide to the advice of Ifa for our lives to be better. This is why we go to Ifa. And I say again, not every Babalawo is Babalawo. I say that very, very clear, right? Ifa is for all. You are very correct, Babalawo. You said they can't be devoted. Yeah, well, I never said that. I never said that. I said, but if you are devoting, you are devoting. You can't be a police and a thief at the same time. You can't. You can't drink the water in the cup and then look in the cup and still stay there. You have to make a choice. You cannot serve two masters. And if it is taboo and you're an Ifa devotee, if you're an Ifa devotee, you have to acknowledge the taboos of Ifa, regardless of your situation. And I'm not, as Babalawo, I keep saying, I understand is a choice, right? Ifa says that persons can choose other blessings and leave children behind in Ori. However, you cannot connect to your Ori to renegotiate through Ebo to get the area of children, right? So that was on the children issue. Can anyone tell a child what to be or not to be? Oshun Funleo Elebuibo, you have already chosen it in Orun. Ifa is to allow us to help us. I remember I was taught by a fellow owl, because we need to wrap up, right? Because it's very late in Nigeria. A fellow owl said, if someone chooses a bad head or Ori in Ajala's house, Ifa can afford to assist that person to mend and be better. If you're chosen to be a thief, good. You can be a thief, but be a thief like in a police station, carry the energy of the thief in the police station, be a police to catch thieves because you understand what and how a thief thinks. You don't literally have to go and steal and thief and bring and carry. You understand? You don't have to do it. So it is not literal, right? There's an order that speaks about the clan of the same-sex people. Their land was rich with resources but they had no head. So Shango went and was denied. When Ogun went, he was denied. Orumela consulted and told how he could control them. And he entered with music and dancing and was made over. This is from Fatima Hossain. I wouldn't call her another name, but that's a very good point. Not because something is practiced. Yes, Fayemi, yes, right? Not because something is practiced over and over and over means, all of a sudden it is part of it. No, there are things that human beings indulge that is not condoned by Urumela. Babalawo, have gay people in your business institution? Yes, I have gay people in my institution. I have a performing company. I have a couple of gay people in my institution. It doesn't mean that I don't tell them that it is taboo. It is not this conversation. Is not about controlling people, but it's about bringing clarity on what Ifa says. Yes, Babalawo. So you have any closing?
Let me quickly comment because of the time.
Yes.
There are many of these homosexual people that we call gay, when they come to Babalawo, when they come to real Babalawo, they don't identify themselves as a gay. You understand me? Because I don't want to say that all Babalawos that are initiating them, they are initiating them because of money. No. Like, let's assume that this Ifatoki is a gay. His Oluwo does not know that he's a gay. If he's a gay, he will advise him. You understand? He will advise him that this thing is not good. You cannot be doing this and call yourself an owl. You understand? So also, I have one spiritual daughter in New York. She lives in Brooklyn. One of an elderly woman introduced her to me to come for reading. So, and she decided to have hand of Ifa. So we start to talk. Later, I realized that she is gay, is lesbian. So I confronted her. I said, you are saying that your prayer is not accepted. Your prayer is not accepted. It means that you are breaking taboo. Because the order that I cast for her, the first time she came by me, spoke about taboo. Now, the other Odu that came for her when she came for another reading, if I say that there is something that is wrong that he's doing, that is not good for her Ori, it's like punishing her Ori. So she said she never take her boyfriend, her friend boyfriend, and so. So now she came for her reading the third time. That was the time that she said she want to have her hand of Ifa. She did her reading, and Ifa said, came with area of spouse. I won't forget the Hoodoo. It's Odi Ika. And I recite the Hoodoo that Ele Maka Erigi Maka. Sorry, it was Odi Ika. I recite the stanza. Èdè káká ń kábà kábà ó bà rere kí ló ń jẹ. Bí bá fún Ọ̀rúnmìlà bàbá ń sunkún aláìlóbìnrin ẹbọ náà ní kó wá ṣe o. Mo wà lóbìnrin gbà yìí o, ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ikin gbogbo ọ̀tọ̀ kìlú, ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ikin mi kòròǹgbòdò. Èdè Kakankaba is a name of an Awo. They are the one did Idafa for Orunmila, for Olofin. You know Olofin is a king.
Right.
He is in lamenting of all Ire that to hit is very hard for him at that particular time. If he was advised to go and get married, this man said, if I get married now, how can I feed the woman? Meaning that I don't have money. But what Ifa said is in your spouse. That he needs to go and marry. That once he married, all of his blessing will come. So he told his elders, they look for a good and respectful woman, a lady for him. So all his good friends and family contribute to get wife for him. And in Yoruba land, when they get wife for you, it's over to you how to maintain it. They will support you, but you have to carry the 50% or 70% of your load. So he started little by little. Things that are not work with him start to work. At the end of the day, he becomes king of the community. So he started to give praise and thanks to his Awo. So when I recite the Odu for this lady, he said, you don't like men? I said, I don't understand what you said. He said, she don't like men. She has boyfriend, but we are in the same sex. So I don't know what I can say. I said, I've been doing the DAPA for you for many years. And you say you want to have hand of Ifa. You can't do that. I start to advise her. I asked her, what enjoyment are you seeing with an next woman with you? How do you enjoy it? What comfort do you get from it? I said, well, if you want to receive hand of Ifa from me, it's better you remove yourself out of these dirty things. That is how I call it. So, but it's not a dirty thing. It's status now. So she went. So the 2 weeks after, I have a lecture at Brooklyn. So they sent a message to her. She came. After the lecture, she said she wants to see me. She said, Baba, you don't ask for me. I said, but why must I ask for you? I can't ask for you. So this is what you can come for. And if you have any spiritual things to do with me, I will do it for you. But why I stopped myself is that so you can't do a side of Ifa from me because I don't know what can happen if I don't tell you the right things. Because these things that you are involved to is taboo of Ifa. So she left. Later, I don't know how she connect with a young man. A young man from the same place. She's from Puerto Rico. She's from Puerto Rico. She met a young man from Puerto Rico. I think both of them slept together. You won't believe. She called me the other day, the following day. Say, Baba, I don't know how I can explain myself to you. I said, what's going on with you? He said, she don't know how she can explain. So what she explained is the enjoyment that she got from the next man. I know that those who are in it, they have their own enjoyment that they are enjoying. But what are we going to say that we are doing that we can't see any trace in our lineage? But many of them did not tell them their Oluwo that so. No, they will not say that. Instead of that, they will hide themselves. You understand me? They like
Right.
to use trick to get what they want. So I want every one of us to be very careful, especially with those who call themselves Babalawo on Facebook. I can call them Facebook Babalawo. Many of them were not Babalawo at all. Even some of them are they are advertising themselves that they will do money for you. No Ifa priest will say that. You understand?
Yes,
Many of
Baba.
them are using our elders' picture. We have been saying it on Facebook. And Facebook self supposed to know the picture of someone whenever you open your Facebook account. Araba Ifakolade, they have used his picture about over 10 peoples. So also our present Araba of Ibadan, including some elders from Osogbo. People are using their picture to fool and trick you. You understand?
Yes,
I
Baba.
am advising every one of us to be careful of friends on Facebook. We have a lot of connection on Facebook, but let's use our own wisdom. Let's use our own wisdom to know the right person. The right person will not put it as that I'm the best. You understand?
Right.
So the right person will not put it on Facebook as I am the best. I will. Everybody, many of them did not doing IFA because of religion. They are doing it because of money. Those who do the IFA because of religion, they will never, never, never support homosexual. So I quickly say this because I have no time and I have to go. Aboro
Thank you.
Aboye.
Watu, Baba. Thank you. Well,
You're welcome.
I'm just gonna let because there are people saying that there are babalawos who are Muslims, there are babalawos who are Christians, and there are even babalawos who are homosexual. You know, I question if they are babalawos. You know, just like how we know in the Christian world and Catholic world that there are priests who are how we renowned for being gay. It doesn't mean that they are actually following what they are preaching. So we have to be careful of just saying, well, look, this one doing it, that's one was wrong too. He's wrong. It's not a matter of if he's a babalawo and he's doing it, makes it. No, if I says it's wrong, regardless, that is his challenge. It doesn't mean because it's a popularity or it's being practiced in a lot of places means it's right. That doesn't constitute right. We need to understand this. So, but Babalawo, if you will allow me, I would continue for at least 10 minutes. So let Fatuke say a couple things more just as we started, because I know you have to leave. I don't want to just end the program like that. Right? I know you have to go. So allow us to say a heartfelt thank you. And I know we will continue the conversation because I think this conversation is one that needs to be continued and clarified. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is not condemning. Alana just sent me a lot of messages thanking for the conversation as well because she got a lot of clarity. Remember, a lot of us, we just don't know. So don't be vexed if the Araba is coming to clarify things for us. He's just advising us, just as Ifa advises us through the teachings of Ifa. Again, if anyone has any other teachings or proof of any teachings, or can bring anyone to refute what the Araba is saying, I welcome it. I am not on the Araba side. I believe what the Araba is saying, but I am not on this. If let us get it out, right? But Araba, thank you so much again. May you continue to guide us. May we continue to praise you and you continue to praise Ifa. May you always show us the right way as much as possible. Um, Let me continue to get this thing together. We have to start someplace. And as you said, is love. Love doesn't mean, and I want to make this very clear to everybody, love doesn't mean always mean condoning. Love doesn't always mean you go for it, boy. Sometimes if you have a child, love would mean you cut their ass if you catch them stealing or anything like that. If you really love somebody, you will hold them and say, hey, what the hell you doing? So let me don't mistake love with sparing the rod, right? As they would say. But Babalawo, thank you again. I will just close off the program a little while after, while I will allow Ifa 2K. But thank you for the lessons. I know both of us would have learned a lot today. Ifa 2K, have anything you want to say to Araba before he leaves?
Well, to the Araba, not, I just really appreciate you bringing light on the situation. I mean, but I understand Araba did not say that. Araba did say that Ifa doesn't speak on it directly. So I still have not seen anything that is a direct taboo. I've seen better. I've seen
Well,
offense.
he did say Ifa does not speak on it directly according to the verses that you said, but he did come out and say it is taboo. He said it is taboo, and he gave his reasons why it is taboo.
Yes,
But
I
everyone
didn't
can
see a
always
verse on
take
that. But
note.
just a few more things. I
Yeah,
didn't see a verse on that. But and then we say that that no one knows about it in Yoruba culture. If no one knows anything about that and it's so alien, how did something like that end up being a part of the Odu Five if no one did it? Now I have a very good friend who is in Lagos right now, who is telling me that Alafin Moron Dotun was a homosexual. I don't know anything about that, but that's what he's saying. And secondly, when you go to your Oluwo, you don't tell your Oluwo, just so you know, I want you to know that I'm straight. So you don't have to tell your Oluwo about your sexual preference just because they're initiating you. That's it. Also, and Baba spoke about this too. He said that about the young lady whose prayer was not accepted. When you are a priest of Ifa or any Orisha, you they're not going to make you rich. They're not. But you can rest assured that your life is going to be comfortable. You're going to be okay as long as you are living in accordance with that spirit. I will tell you this: on June 25th, when Ifa after the day after Ifa Porera asked me to come on the show, it was Osha Ifa, so I decided to go to my Ifa with two Obi and ask a question. First, I asked my Ifa if he had an issue with me being gay. The answer was no. Then I asked Ifa if I can live my life as a gay man. The answer was Oyan, two down, two up, balance. Secondly, gay people are doing so well. Initiated gay people, Orisha are coming down on them. Orisha are mounting them. I know Babalawos, and yes, there are Babalawos. They are legitimate Babalawos who are gay.
If
They're doing
if
fine.
Atoki,
Just
if
one more second,
Atoki,
Baba.
can I ask you a question, please?
Sure,
Can I ask you a question?
sure, Baba. I'm not
If
refuting
you
anything you're saying.
if you know that it is not good to cross the highway when the another vehicle is coming,
But there's but
could you ask your Ifa that can I cross the highway? If I cross the highway, nothing will happen to me when some heavy truck are coming. Or when the sea is rough, could you ask your Ifa if I can go in and bathe in the sea?
you understand the question he's asking?
yes, but that's devoid of common sense. You don't need to ask about those things because your common sense will tell you those things will put you in danger.
Well, you see,
But
then
you
then
could if you
But
want to.
we said something is not good, and you are asking if people have issue with you.
you understand what he's saying?
It's like you are trying Ifa. That is not a question that you're supposed to be asking Ifa. So
You can ask
you
if
know
I
that this fire can burn you. Why can't you go and ask Ifa, can I put my hand in the fire?
You don't need to ask
You
that if
put
it's
so
common
you
sense
put
that
on
it's
the gas.
dangerous. But then
Well,
how
you
is we
see,
can say we can't
Fatuke,
show how homosexuality is dangerous? We can't
what
prove
he's
that.
what he's saying, and it brought me to the comment I made earlier. Remember where you will ask if a certain questions and he will just give you certain responses because of the nature of your question. If he knows that you know something, he will give you a response to suit because issue steps in and you can't. All right, it's either you're genuine, and I'm not saying that you're not genuine about your concern about coming on the show, but there is something innate in all of us. That's why I asked, it's where we get our moral constructs from. It has to stem from some sort of influence of spirituality,
Ó sọ fún ọmọ yìí pé
whatever
àwọn
it
èèyàn
is.
text mi sì mò ń kọ́ tiẹ̀ ni.
And that if we keep asking and finding ways to indulge in whatever we want to do, then we will never see the right way for thing. But I
Ìbámu ni
believe
kí n má ṣe
Araba has
answer
to go.
program yìí kan.
I believe the Araba has to go. Excuse
Okay.
me for a second.
All right, Baba. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
I said he has some messages to reply to, and people have been calling him.
Why am I here by myself?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, Fatuke, Baba, thank you again. I know this is the first time you
I'm not a Baba.
No, not you. I'm saying Baba from Baba.
Oh.
From Baba, sorry. Right. Thank you again so much. I know that this conversation is not a one-day conversation. I say that again because it's for years and years and years. I keep if any homosexuality does not exist, how it is in the corpus. Right. What we need, I think we keep taking things so literal. And
But we're taking Ofunirete literally when we want to condemn homosexuality.
No, that's why he said that's why Baba said, even if it says it is better for a man, it doesn't mean that a man should. Listen to me very
It doesn't
carefully.
mean that it should not either.
Yes, listen to me very carefully. It didn't say that you should not. But Ifa says generally that you should not. So if a man is in a situation, right, and a man is indulging in certain things, and the Odu would come up, it means it is advising you that it is better for you, which automatically means, and I want you to understand how it
Advising
goes.
you, right?
Right. That's if it comes for you. But as I said, just like
Right.
Baba would say, you don't have to ask if I have to cross the road with all the traffic. So I think we're taking it very literal to find the loophole in it in the actual English interpretation of it. But you have to understand how the ancestors speak. He's saying generally in Ifa it is taboo. If in Ifa homosexuality does not exist, how is it in the corpus? Answer please, well. Now I remember you saying that Babalawo said they did not know about homosexuality. What he means is as a practice in the Yoruba land, as a practice where it have Queens of Queens competition down, and it have RuPaul show, and it have all these things that have been promoted. It is not a practice in Yoruba land. Yes, they are gay for people. Yes, there are even kings who are gay. Yes, we understand that. We are not refuting that. But because these things exist doesn't mean it is not taboo. That's all we're saying, So don't think that when we are saying, hey, bro, you're not supposed to be doing that, really, Doesn't mean that we don't understand why you're doing it or that it exists. We never said that it doesn't exist extensively or forever and ever. Amen. What we're saying is does it exist, and our friend and I always have these conversations. It doesn't exist means we are speaking in a general context, right? The issue is within the diaspora. We have a lot of misunderstanding around everything because there has been a connection gap. We take in Ifa's religion, and that is our problem. He's not mature with understanding, only trying to justify on a personal level Why don't he marry a dog or have intercourse? I don't think that's the issue, Jimmy. I don't think that's the issue. I think some of us would never understand if we are not homosexual. The path that needs to be walked in that direction of Urumela. Something I know for sure, when you are a child of Ifa, you walk in the manner of Urumela. If you are a child of Jesus Christ, you walk as a Christian. And it means that even with all your struggles, that you would walk in a certain manner. If anyone has ever heard Urumela with a man, please let me know. So I'm saying all of this to say that even though we identify with Ifa, being an Ifa devotee means we try our best, regardless of our circumstance and situation, to walk the same way Urumela would have walked. And that is, I think, what we're trying to get down to. How did Urumela live his life? How did Jesus live his life? That's what it really is, Ifatuki. So, but I want to hear a little more from you, because I know you have some points to raise as well, so we can address it. We have about a little 10 minutes again. If you have anything else to add, because before you go, let me play some voice notes, because these people will have sent their voice notes early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let me see one from Kesselbayer.
It is not. It's all with past last night.
Okay, that's not a voice note. That's not a voice note for the show. Thanks, Kesselbayer. I think we have one from Iya Ajetumobi Bernard.
Baba Watunde into long call me.
Okay, that's not a voice note. I need somebody to scan these voice notes before I play them on the show, Lord, because they're coming in the show. I saw one from okay, here we go. So we have, okay, Samantha, that is 2 seconds. Just give me a second. Miss Giles, you see where I just screen these voice notes?
Good afternoon to the Araba. Good afternoon, Sean. Good afternoon to Ifatoki. My question is for him. Awo, if you get a Udu in the morning stating that, okay, yes, you want to follow Ifa tradition, and the reading came up with the Udu stating that, okay, your taboo is now being gay. Would you leave the tradition because you're already initiated into it? Would you leave the tradition because it becomes your taboo tomorrow? Or would you change and continue your spirituality to align with yourself? That is my question to the Abo. Thank you. He also claimed.
Go ahead, Ifatuki. Well, how you would respond to a question like that?
Well, first of all, you know I would not leave. My grandfather Franklin Nelson, Ifa Shina Awareni, was an initiate of Ifa. I'm Ifa Diran. I come from a lineage Ifa. I'm Iko Yesho. I come from the warrior lineage in Yoruba land. So no, I would not leave. The day that Ifa comes down and tells me that I can no longer live as a gay person, I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Should not.
Can't, yeah. The day that Ifa tells me,
and this is where I think
Ifa says that I shouldn't, I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll wean myself off and try to gradually stop.
I share to that. And I think that response there, I think is the little gray area or the lack of understanding to a lot of us is the little gray area as to where things kind of get obscured, where it has to be definitive, and it has to be, how definitive do you want it to be again if it is generally a taboo? you know, but I wouldn't keep going there because it's not my place. The Araba knows a lot more than every single one of us here. But thank you for the response. And I think you smile to say that, eh? It's like, boy, let me see.
It'll be hard.
Yeah, I know it will be hard, and that's the reality. Something Araba taught us in one of the previous shows. When we choose Ori and we choose destiny, right? On our descent to Aye, people add to our choices. Akunlea, akunlegba, ayamo. Yes? So sometimes the things that we are experiencing is not necessarily a choice of ours as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The placenta of a mother, when she gives birth, is a literal manifestation of that negativity. That's why if it stays in her, she's going to die. That's why rituals are actually done to the placenta in Yoruba land, because they know that is the physical manifestation of all those things. And that is why in Yoruba land you would have hardly seen homosexuality. We're not saying it doesn't exist, but it was dealt with as a energy that does not constitute the ways of or a living of Olumela Olodumare, right? Let me get that clear. So to say that one second. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, where was I? I think I lost my chain of thought there with that, right? But I'm saying all of this to say, if we do not know, then we should listen to someone who knows. If we are choosing to refute it, that means we are personally choosing to ignore the advice of someone who is more knowledgeable than us. And that is okay, that is your choice. But you have to understand that it is not, what's the word for it, boy? It's not a good calculation if you really want what is better for you as an individual. I'm not saying that someone who is more knowledgeable cannot mislead, but we are at a position where we do not actually have people who can say that it is okay through Odu. And if we can get even something resembling, as you say, not 100% saying that it is taboo, you know, if which one are we choosing to actually follow, you know? And it still comes down to choice. If I am told, Ifaporere, you are not supposed to be sleeping with many women, and I love to sleep with women, I could choose to continue sleeping with women, but I cannot also say that I did not get the advice of Ifa or the advice of someone more knowledgeable than me who follows Ifa. Is it all for interpretation? We could say that because Ifa is oral. Ifa is oral, is an oral tradition. It's not a written tradition. You understand? So it is through each individual that we get the teachings of Ifa. So it still comes down to choice. Can we say after this conversation, what would you say after this conversation? Is homosexuality taboo in Ifa? What would you say personally?
I would personally say there are Odus that speak against it. Those Odus don't say that it's definitively going to bring some type of negativity into your life. And I would also say that there are Odus that speak negatively about all sorts of normal things.
Right.
So that's what I would say. I mean, I've learned from Araba, definitely.
I understand the complexity of the situation, but it can become rather simple. You know, there are things that are understood, and there are things that are more explained, right? That elaborated upon, for want of a better term. It doesn't mean because we are having the conversation of with elaboration, that we cannot have a conversation with understanding as well. And if one chooses to only identify the elaborated one, as you said, well, if I come and say, boy, I don't know, it will be really, real hard. It will be real hard. But if I is saying it, some people, let me don't say you, some people just choose not to listen to it because it is not as powerful with the vibration of the message, or should I say it is not as powerful literally, but they ignore the vibration of the message. And Ifa is vibration. Ifa is manifestation of the word of Olodumare. Nobody is saying it do exist. You understand what I'm saying? But we have to know, when are we going to get better? When are we going to get better? I remember you and I had a conversation. If someone is born, you said gay is not the act of homosexuality. So we understand that this is a characteristic, right? A vibration of feeling.
Yeah.
Someone can be gay, as in your terms, and be a very good designer. That is the person manifesting the gayness in them. They can be a very good writer. They can be an excellent singer. It doesn't mean that they have to indulge in sexual acts with the same sex. That is a choice. And that is why some people call it vice as opposed to destiny. And we always bring it back to a man can have vice for a 4-year-old. And who are we to say that that is not his feeling? Is it mean because he's feeling that means it's okay? Does Ifa have to come and say he's going to get incarcerated if he indulges with a 4-year-old? Ifa doesn't have to say that. We have our own moral constructs and understanding. And if someone chooses
that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. We keep trying to compare it to rape, to killing, to molestation, but it's not the same thing. Those things definitely violate the rights of other people. When you're touching a young girl, that violates the rights of that young girl.
Right.
So we can't compare that as being the same thing, because two people engaging in that sexual act consensually they're not disrespecting each other's rights. So it's really not the same as rape, killing.
It said that it is a choice. Do not get me wrong, that one is a choice. It doesn't mean that it is not on the same level as taboo, where feelings are concerned, expressed feelings. Do not get me wrong. It is still an expressed feelings. It may not be a barbaric taboo, but it is still a taboo in accordance to yes, you are quite right, Fatima Hossain. You are quite right. But it's still a taboo that it may not be as gruesome as rape or molestation or pedophilia, but according to Ifa, it is still taboo. But as Babalawo said, it's a choice. He may not say if he hears a man interfering with a 4-year-old, well, Ifa says no, more than likely he will take action on that, because as you said, the 4-year-old's rights are being violated. You understand what I'm saying? But in accordance to taboo, it's still according to Ifa, it is still taboo. Donald Hillen asked a question. He said, "Is Baba short for Babalawo, or is there a difference?" So let me say this one time. Or if I took care, I want to address this.
Well, it really depends on where you are, because in Yoruba culture, they reference old people, so you don't have to have any initiation. They have respect for people that are older than them. So if you're older, you're a Baba. But in the diaspora, we have to be careful with that, because when you call yourself a Baba here in the diaspora, people are going to think, you're well knowledge and you're well trained. So me, even though I'm initiated to Ifa, Egbe, Odu, I'm not a Baba because I was initiated a year ago. I don't want people to be confused. So it connotates denotes being an elder in the diaspora. So we have to be careful with that.
Yeah, and I think that's what lots of people get carried away with. They put Baba in front of their name and they let everyone think that they are. You would never see me. And I say it loud. You would never see me just put Baba in front of my name just so. And I have 2 children. That's also another way someone can call you Baba. It means father as well, right? So it's also a form of respect. I have seen my Baba Ifakolade call a young man Baba, come Baba. Is also a male, addressed to a male, right? Or they will say sometimes they will say, according to the Odu that the person has as well, he calls my 13-year-old daughter Iya because of the Odu that came for her. But people put Baba in front of the name and have people thinking that they are Babalawo and Ifa priests, and they are not Ifa priests. They are Awo to Ifa practicing. They are not Ifa priests. So yes, there is a very big difference between Baba and Babalawo. Baba, father, and father of the secrets is two totally different things. Right? Let me see if I got another voice note here. Okay. Let me play this voice note. We didn't have the voice note going. It was deleted. Apparently, it was deleted.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently it was deleted through the conversation. Baba Adeloni, if you want to send back the voice note, please send it back. We want to hear your stance on certain things. Okay, so if anyone has any questions before we would close off the session for Ifatoki, my brother, I must say thank you. Like
Thank you. It's great.
You have no idea how important the discussion is to have without it being degrading or derogative or even aggressive and attacking. I am very, very thankful that you take a stance, not out of ignorance, but from your understanding and recollection of what things are. And I pray that we continue to grow together. Because
thank you.
yeah, I really pray that we continue to grow together. Right? Question: at what age did Ifatuki realize he was gay, and were there any situations that happened to him as a child? This is from Awatunde Elebuibo, Ajigbo Tifa. He's asking the question so people can understand the origin of your feeling and your identity.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's a common misunderstanding, is that and it is inherently homophobic to assume that people are gay because they were touched as a child or anything. Absolutely not. And then people will say that because I was raised by a single mother, Ruth Nelson. Wait, is that Baba Mitch that asked that question?
Yes.
Yeah, he knows my
Yes.
mother. He knows my mother. My mother Ruth, he knows her. She says
Right.
anytime he drums that she goes down. But anyway, people will say because I'm raised by a single mother that had something to do with it. Even though I did have a stepdad, I have a 14-year-old brother he's right over there on the computer playing Minecraft. He's definitely straight. I think he likes white women. But so that goes to show you that didn't influence it. But I really didn't think that much about it. People called me that because of how I looked. They just always thought I had a feminine look. But it wasn't until I was about 12 that I knew for sure.
Right. No experiences with another male before that?
Oh no, I wasn't experiencing with no males at 12 years old. No.
Okay. And you just grew, and then you decided this is who I am.
Yes. I wasn't truly open about it until I got to college. Yeah.
You got to college. Understood. Yes. So is there anything in life that constitutes or demands discipline?
Everything.
So then, now this is just me being an advocate here, right? So even though this, let me just say, according to Araba Ifakolade and the teachings of Ifa, that this is your challenge. on this world, in this plane, how would you go about that?
Well, I'm initiated to Ifa, so I know what my challenges are in this world. But you're saying if how would
You said
I?
you have Ishefa,
No,
hand of
Itefa,
Ifa?
Itelodu. No, I'm fully initiated.
Okay, okay,
Itefa, Itelodu.
okay. I
But
thought you
you're
said
you're
hand of
saying,
Ifa.
oh no no no. But so you wait, you're saying that if it was my challenge of being gay, how would I deal with it?
How would you go about it? Let me just use Jamie's question. If Ifa comes out and say, bro, it's just gotta stop now, it's gotta stop, how would you go about it?
Then I would stop. I'm very obedient to the Orisha, to the Vodun, to Ifa. I would stop. It would be a gradual process, but certainly.
But do you think that there are homosexuals that can't stop? Just like I
No,
would
I
have
mean,
men, just like I would have men who can't stop cheat. They can't help it, like because I don't want to make this all about homosexuality alone is a taboo
yeah.
and is the only bad thing in the world. I just addressing it because everybody know these other things are wrong. You know,
Mhm.
so you
They
think they are
can stop, but if you're attracted to men, you're attracted to men. And then
right?
Baba himself says Ifa is about truth. And a lot of these guys are misleading women that they are with, that they're having kids with. If you're bisexual, cool, but you do have to let people know you shouldn't be. So yeah, they can stop, but hey, if you're attracted to men, it's always going to be there.
Right, but it's going to be a challenge,
Right. Certainly.
right? So, to the viewing who didn't hear before, everyone while descending to IE has been given certain challenges as well to overcome because there's no situation that allows someone to grow that is not challenging. It doesn't work without challenge. It doesn't work without it being an obstacle. It doesn't work without it being contrary sometimes, right? So,
Hmm.
my spiritual mother um, once told me, um, I will sometimes the big stone there is not necessarily for you to stop or for you to build a house in front of and say you cannot go any further, but it is for you to push, try to climb, do whatever you can. And then one day, because of your consistent efforts, you will be strong enough. You would look at your muscles and you wouldn't even realize that you're actually strong enough to overcome it. But when you do
Hmm.
overcome that obstacle, when you go to someone else and you see them with a little pebble in the road, you could flick it away because you are now so much stronger because your obstacle is so much bigger than the other one that you can afford to help people once you have overcome that obstacle.
Right.
Iba share. I give praise to her, Valerie Stevenson Lichi. I know that's someone that you are very familiar with as well, knowing that you're a descendant of what is your grandfather's name?
Franklin Nelson, Ifashina Wareni.
Fashina Aworeni. So would you ask? Okay, let me ask, well, because the questions will keep coming. I think we could just go to 2:30 and we finished. We'll have to continue
Okay.
this session another time because we can't resolve an old age um, discussion like this. If I come here, would you as a homosexual promote homosexuality as an accepted practice and encourage persons to indulge in it?
Only if that's what they want to do. I encourage people to practice whatever they want that does not harm other people or disrespect their rights. So no, I would not. But the thing is, we have this idea that homosexuals are promoting their lifestyle on our children or they're
Right,
encouraging our kids to do something. But that's just foolish. And if they want to be gay, they're going to be gay. I'm not talking about people that are molested or anything. But just because you see somebody homosexual or just because you see that being promoted doesn't mean that that's going to turn you gay unless you are gay. I've been
right,
seeing heterosexual activity my whole life. Grew up with people kissing on television, stripper movies, all kind of stuff, and I still turned out this way. So it is a little ridiculous when people act as if there's some agenda that we're trying to spread to their children. But no, I do not promote it for people that are not homosexual. If that's who you are, then do it.
If I come here, I hope that answers your question, because there's this misconception that everybody who's gay is influenced, right? It is not the truth. Our Tunde, let me get it done real fast. Do we think that there are particular foods that might be taboos that could be causing this, or particular vibrations that our children are being introduced to? Do you think that it is a result of disharmony or certain foods? Because let us be real, the society in which we live in today, the world in which we live in today, is very manipulative from a hierarchy level. You understand? If you look at all the shows, I even saw in Avengers there's a gay scene. In everything now there's a gay. So there are deliberate promotional aspects that are being, quote unquote, enforced upon the viewing public, knowing that human beings are manipulative. So will you agree to this as well, that this is another reason why the rise in homosexuality is so high, that people are deeming it unnatural?
No, I would not. I don't think there was no rise. It's just that people that in olden times that were gay still had children, still got married. I just think there's an open acceptedness that's going on. We have to understand that all types of people deserve to be represented. So that
Right?
is why they show. That is why they show. They're starting to show gay people on TV now, because all people should be represented. But if you can show your child a man and a woman kissing, then they shouldn't have any problem with gay people. That's not going to turn them gay unless they are. But for what Baba Mitch is saying, I think Baba Tunde, I don't believe that, but it's certainly possible.
No, when we next be having the conversation, I'm going to show you where scientifically it's proven that the foods that we ingest and everything is people are deliberately creating these things, especially for black men, to go into a certain direction. And it's not just homosexuality. It's not just homosexuality. So the thing is a homosexual conspiracy. It's not just homosexuality. That's why we having all these killings and all these. Anyway, let me don't stay there. This our tune, they said he know you from baby. You know,
Wow.
let me see. Right. To Fatuki's point about him looking more feminine, sometimes hormones will play a role in homosexuality, which is why some women are not as feminine and some men aren't as masculine. Yeah, we earlier Oya Shonifa Jube, Latasha Jones, we spoke about pheromones, estrogen, and testosterone. We understand that this assists in someone's looks and feelings, but all we are saying is that it should not constitute your decision making. Which sex is a decision making. No one is saying a guy can be hairy, flary, jumping up and down, skipping through the tulips. But a sexual act is a choice that one takes, right? But as Lana said, she would love to get on to the Babalawo to have a greater discussion, because yes, we were misled a lot, or not led at all into the truth of Ifa. I would say vibrations, because my son adapted it in high school. So she's saying that her son never shown, but company. Influence is a very, very serious thing in human nature. And she's admitting here that her son, whatever. And I think, Alana, allow me to say that your son is also part of the LGBTQ community, right? And she says it loud, but she's getting some truth here today. Yes, according to Ifatuki, had nothing to do with him being molested as a child, right? So there's no one definitive that makes someone gay. You know, he even said that being gay is not about being sexually intimate with another man. That is an act, you know. If I come here, I remember an Egbe pre-stating that someone's Egbe influenced them so much to be gay, so that they turn gay to prevent them from marrying another woman. So I know we didn't get into the conversation with Babalawa about the spiritual influences of homosexuality, but according to what Ifakumio saying here, he's just indicating just one of the things that allow people to be influenced spiritually into the behavior and characteristics of homosexuality, right? It is not just I am. A lot of different things make up the I am. You understand what I'm saying? And with that, we can identify each and every part of the spiritual build and the spiritual construct to an individual. And then we can afford to say, hey, okay, so this is what's causing the quote unquote problem. This is what is causing the problem. Egbe, I remember there was this one time I saw a woman came for Dafan and she was told that her husband is constantly cheating because of her Okoru, her husband in heaven. He's manipulating the men in her life to mistreat her because he wants her for himself. Is it possible? Of course it is. So human beings can be manipulated by spiritual influences. But if I took it, sorry, let me not say if I took it, I am very, 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 very thankful that we had this conversation.
Thank you. This was great.
Yeah, I think the community could be a lot more comfortable being around each other, having a better understanding of who an individual is. I don't want to use the word circumstance, but you can correct me if you have a better word, in which someone would have been created out of or birthed out of. We also have a better understanding now that things can be done. We can also identify where things can stem from, and at the end of the day, it makes me quite comfortable, my brother, to say as a brother that I love you and I really appreciate you as a human being.
Thank you.
I really, really, really do. You have no idea the difference you have made in the Ifa Orisha community today. And I pray that we could continue the discussion another time. I'm going to call you after. I'm going to call you, right? I'm going to call you. But guys, thank you for all your contributions as well. And we are going to continue the conversation some other time. But we reached the 2:30 mark. So with that, I have to say good evening or dab out to everyone and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Oda, thank you.